Alright guys, so today we're heading out on a excursion to Albuquerque Bosque, and it's going to take about 6 miles to get there. I don't have an action cam, so we're just going to have to live with this. I'm taking out the new GT. This is my new GT, the grade carbon, and we're taking it out to like I say, we're going to tear up some gravel roads in the Bosque, and I'll show you some key parts of what the Albuquerque Bosque is all about. So, stick with me. Anyway, I'm going to show you a couple of these trails. So I came from back here, and you see these bike paths. There's this nice bridge here. You'll see a lot of cyclists coming across here. These trails, it's the city's goal to have these trails go all throughout the city. There's going to be like a 50-mile perimeter around the city that the trails will all interconnect, and there's a lot of trails going throughout the city. So I can take these paths for a good chunk of the ride. Even if I wanted to go to work, there's paths that take me a lot of the way there. Now what you're looking at over here, all these cars that are, let me zoom in there. You see all these cars over there, that's I-40 right there. So it's kind of cool because you're near the freeway and there's always something nearby. But that's also bad because while you think you're in this nice natural, this nice natural scenery, it's, a lot of times you're sucking pollution off of the trucks, steaming by and, things like that. So anyway, that's where we're heading. So we've got a few more miles to go before we actually get to the Bosque, but I'll show you some key parts of the trail along the way. Okay guys, sorry about the noise, but we are going to have to deal with it because I really wanted to show you that when I said this trail paralleled I-40 and some of the negatives that came along with that, this is it. You can hear how noisy this is, and I don't know if this audio is going to come out or not, but this is I-40, and this is the trail that we're going to head down. Okay. Alright, so now here we are actually at the end of that little part of the trail, and we're actually underneath I-40. So this is I-40, and we're actually heading underneath it. But you can see back behind me, okay, that's one of the gravel roads that this is taking. If you look further out, let me zoom in here. Okay, so this is it. This is what gravel riding is all about. This is what gravel riding was made for. Just miles and miles of long fire roads, dirt roads. This is it. So, all right. Well, here we are. Much better audio conditions at this area. You can kind of still hear I-40 back there in the background, rumbling off of that bridge. But anyway, I wanted to show you this part. We still got, miles of road to go ahead of us. We're at a little drainage area for the river here, and they built this nice bridge. This was part of the Bosque restoration project. It's a project our last mayor started to put more accessible trails through here. So when I was saying we go cross country, these are all, the crusher fine paved trails. So it's dirt, it's cross country, but it's still accessible to wheelchairs and people that are more sensitive to uneven surfaces and stuff. So it's very, very level. It was done well, and I think it's good because it also prevents people from just trampling the trails and creating their own trails everywhere. So this bridge here is part of that that project. And again, here's the gravel road that I came down, and so yeah, that's what's going on here. I think I'm going to take some pictures down here. So yeah, this is a cool little spot here. Got the river right there. Nice and shady. I'm going to use this opportunity, guys, because I think you might have an interest. Give me just a second. I just wanted to kind of go over the bike because I know a lot of people probably have an interest in that, you know, but this is, again, a new GT grade. Just took it out, and so far I've upgraded the wheels, is about the only thing that I've upgraded. And I'm also in the tires. The tires, look at those knobs on there. Good for this kind of terrain. But they're the Schwalbe CX Comp, very aggressive tires. You know, too aggressive for road. They're going to hinder my speed a little bit on the road with as much, you know, wind resistance as they're going to create. But anyway, I love this bike. This is an awesome bike. It's so comfortable and it's so capable. They market it, of course, as an adventure road bike because they didn't want to niche themselves into that gravel market, I think. But I mean, it's a gravel bike. It's perfect for that purpose. So it doesn't have all the you know, mounts for fenders and panniers and that kind of stuff, which is, you know, maybe that was their reasoning behind not labeling it a gravel bike, but you know, technically adventure road bike, but it is perfectly at home in this kind of atmosphere. So yeah, this is our Bosque. So when you hear that term, you know, the famous Albuquerque Bosque, there's a lot of attention that's given to this area. Oh, nice. Plastic, a pillow, yeah. I think there's... What? What are you doing? Yeah, we'll move on. This is cute. I don't know if you can see people taking their dog out to the water. It's always fun. You can hear the dog splish splashing over there. This is actually the spot I used to take Judge, and he loved it out here. I actually have a couple of pictures of him in this very spot against this very backdrop during the fall time, but this bridge wasn't here then.
Where was this? Just in a residential section of the law.
More cyclists. Kind of hard to avoid. I think you'll see all kinds of them here. You know, especially this time of the day, because this part, the cross-country part of these trails, is very shady. So, you know, at certain times of the day, it's also very bug-infested. You got, I mean, the mosquitoes here. You know, 2 of them land on you, and they'll be deciding whether or not they should take you home for dinner. It's that bad. So, anyway. Let's head back, and I'll take you over to the biopark, so hold on. Alright, well, this is cool. This is part of the Rio Grande Restoration Project here. And it looks like they've added to it since I've been out last. Kind of cool. They added some new seating. Added some barriers to the walkway. Kind of lead the way in here. And, of course, there's your... Rio Grande right there, and by the way, that is the Coors no, I'm sorry, that's the Central Overpass. So that's north from where we're at. Follow the river down. Next would be Bridge down that way, or Bridge Boulevard actually turns into Avenida Cesar Chavez Boulevard. But yeah, it's good to see they're continuing the work on here. So I don't know how far they're going to take it out, but clearly they've expanded this area, which that's good. On the other side of the bike path, which that's the bike path right up there, on the other side of this is where the duck ponds are. So you can do a lot of people come out here to fish. They do, you know, you can either fish the river or you can go to the ponds over there. We'll go check out the duck ponds. Let's go check out some ducks. Alright, well, while I was in this area, I really wanted to take the time to point something out. So we're on the other side of the bike path, Down here are the duck ponds, and subsequently these railroad tracks right here. You might see a train coming, but there's a little train that you can pay, and it'll take you around the biopark, the zoo, you know, this whole area. So it's just a little kind of tour, and that's what these train tracks are for. But this is the duck ponds here. This whole area, this with all the water area, is known as Tingley Beach. So you can search that. Yeah, they have these metal sculptures out here. And there's different ponds. These go on for quite a ways. There's probably about 1.5 miles of ponds here. And the different ponds, so this is majorly just a duck pond. People kind of walk around it, feed the ducks. I think there's one that has paddle boats. There's another one that they do a lot of remote control boat races and stuff in, that kind of stuff. So there's those different little ponds. Now again, if we come back up to the bike path here, by the way, something important to point out about this area is one of the most photographed areas in Albuquerque. Anytime about during the year, you can probably come out to this area and you'll find professional photographers taking pictures for people's engagements, wedding parties, quinceañeras, but there's pretty much nothing that I haven't seen. Graduation photos, prom photos. This area is one of the most popular areas for that. So everyone wonders what I mean by bike and coffee, and basically it's the same thing in Albuquerque. It's called the Old Town Farm, which is where I'm at now, the Old Town Farm. And they started a business here since the bike trail was so popular. They actually started a business to cater to the cyclists, selling coffee and, you know, all fresh ingredient stuff from the farm. So they do a lot of dishes with eggs and soups and salads and smoothies and coffee and things like that. So you get a lot of traffic here off of off of the beaten path. There's a lot of people who even drive in. In fact, let me show you. There's somebody coming in with all his bikes now. But yeah, this is the farm, or this is the area over here. Actually, there's a jazz band that was just playing over under the little gazebo there. And I honestly don't know what all this vehicle traffic is. There's just a ton of vehicle traffic going through here today. But yeah, they have this a very popular place for weddings, receptions, that kind of stuff. They also partner with, they're planning to partner with TED Talks coming up, so that the barn, the red barn over here, I don't know if you can see that, but they're going to have talks in there. And this area back here, a lot of people tend to gather back there. A lot of the bike groups meet up here. But there's just they used to have a little bus over here. This started as just a bus. They had a Breaking Bad bus parked under an awning over on the other side of this building, but now they put in this new stand over here. And the new stand has really given them a lot more opportunity. Then they put in this gazebo, and that's where the band is playing at now. But yeah, this is a really cool spot. Like I said, everything is fresh from the farm that they sell. So smoothies are really good. I'm not really sure what this building is. That's the road leading out off of the farm out to, I think, Mountain Road. I think this is like their main house back over here. And you can see they even have chairs set up there. So there's going to be a wedding or a reception going on, probably a wedding later today. So they do that a lot. They have a lot of different events that they host out here. But yeah, the biking idea, catering to the bike trail, they have an entrance right off the Bosque bike trail that parallels I-40. Oh, there we go. Now jazz band just started back up. So yeah, this is the bike and coffee. This is what I'm talking about when you hear me mention it. You know, something else that I wanted to mention about this area is that, you know, again, I mentioned that you could take the path or the road, the dirt road coming into the Old Town Farm. It leads right out to Mountain Boulevard, which from Mountain Boulevard, I'd point out, the entire road is designated as a bicycle boulevard. So with that in mind, you know, the max speed limit there theoretically is 18 miles an hour for cars, well, for anyone. But that's just something to keep in mind too, so that, you know, when you're down here, you can actually make an all-day excursion out of a bike ride. A lot of people, what I used to do last year, I haven't done it this year yet, but last year I would go down and take a bike ride down to either the winery or the brewery and have lunch there, and, you know, have a beer, have a wine, and then get back on the trail. And so, you know, you really can. Along this trail, there's just so many places to dive off to do different things, you know, besides just getting a really good world-class workout out of it. So that's something to keep in mind.